In 2023, global fast food chain Taco Bell introduced artificial intelligence at over 500 locations in the United States. Their aim was to reduce mistakes and to speed up orders for drive-thru customers. But to their surprise, AI just did the opposite.
What a large Mountain Dew!
And a drink?
And it's not just Taco Bell. McDonald's drive-thrus also tried implementing AI in their system, but decided to scrap it because it was too unreliable. One customer ended up with bacon on their ice cream by mistake, and another found hundreds of dollars worth of chicken nuggets added to their order due to an AI error. For Taco Bell, this disaster has forced them to rethink on how they use artificial intelligence. Their chief technology officer, Dave Matthews, told the Wall Street Journal that deploying a voice AI system has been unpredictable. Sometimes it works beautifully, other times it just fails. And that statement captures the essence of where consumer AI stands today. It functions some of the time, but a large percentage of the time, it gets things undeniably wrong. A recent MIT report based on surveys of 150 business leaders and 350 employees found that only around 5% of AI integrations have generated significant value. The majority of implementations remain stuck, delivering no measurable improvement in profit or loss. In other words, AI projects fail in about 95% of cases. The market reacted swiftly to this revelation. Shares of NVIDIA, the $4 trillion company powering much of the AI revolution, fell by 3.5%, while Palantir dropped by nearly 9%. When you look deeper into the report, the situation is far more than it looks. In the last video, I discussed the growing crisis in graduate jobs, particularly how AI threatens entry-level roles in creative industries. I did mention that the current AI systems often make mistakes, but will improve over time. But today, let's dive deeper. What if generative AI continues to underperform in businesses for years? What happens if the technology that's meant to replace workers simply can't deliver? Generative consumer AI is poised to transform global productivity someday, but right now, it might just be caught in a bubble. This is Rob, and you're watching Beyond Economy. AI absolutely has valid uses. It works well in non-critical areas that don't demand total precision. Robots, translation, and even basic web design tools like Lovable or Awesome are good examples. But despite these successes, many people find generative AI frustrating to use. The deeper issue is more fundamental. All modern AI, including large language models, is built upon a 2017 paper from Google that introduced the Transformer Neural Network. This architecture allows AI systems to focus on multiple parts of an input simultaneously and assess the relationship between words to predict what comes next. It was groundbreaking, but it also created a serious flaw. Because these systems are designed to predict the next word rather than verify facts, they sometimes just invent information. They don't truly know anything. They generate text that sounds right, even when it isn't. These false outputs, known as hallucinations, have real-world consequences. Imagine running a company that replaces employees with AI to handle patient documentation, meeting summaries, or scheduling. Over time, you discover that 10% of what the AI produces is completely fabricated. Your staff now has to go back and manually verify everything, doubling their workload instead of reducing it. That's exactly what's happening in many companies today. Workers on Reddit have shared countless horror stories. One person described how their company paid for AI scheduling software to cut costs by stopping hiring in the accounts department. But instead of freeing up time, employees had to spend hours verifying that the system hadn't messed everything up. The production team, which never had to deal with scheduling before, was suddenly double-checking every detail. Eventually, management scrapped the AI and went back to basic software. Another worker said their supposedly life-changing AI solution forced staff to spend all their time supervising the AI to ensure it didn't make mistakes, essentially becoming babysitters for the machine. Someone in a clinical setting explained that their AI-based file sorting system failed to correctly label patient records, often confusing doctors for patient or misplacing data entirely. Errors that are completely unacceptable in healthcare. And even tools praised for automating tasks like meeting notes have issues. AI summarizers often invent 5 to 20% of the content, even when given full transcripts. It's not just inaccurate, it's untrustworthy. The root cause is simple. Large language models predict what word is likely to come next, not whether that prediction is true. They don't have a mechanism for recognizing when they don't know something, so they just make things up confidently. This overconfidence is wreaking havoc in workplaces, where upper management rush to adopt AI. Reports show that 55% of companies now regret replacing humans with AI. One bank fired staff and installed an AI chatbot that was so unreliable, they eventually begged for their human employees to come back. Klarna, the Swedish fintech company, cut its workforce nearly in half, from 3,800 to 2,000 employees, after implementing AI tools. They boasted that their chatbots could handle the work of 800 people, but soon realized that customers preferred speaking to real humans. Service quality and satisfaction dropped significantly, forcing the company to admit that human interaction remains essential. As Fortune magazine noted, replacing people with AI is not only short-sighted, but also bad business. Companies slashing headcount for quick AI gains today will likely be the ones scrambling to catch up tomorrow. There's no doubt that AI can streamline repetitive work, automate processes, and save time. But by itself, it can't invent the next generation of products or create new markets. Still, not every story is one of failure. According to the same MIT report, a small number of startups and large organizations are seeing real success. Some young companies, often founded by people barely out of their teens, have scaled their revenues from $0 to $20 million in a single year by focusing on a single problem, executing it well, and partnering strategically with established firms. The study found that companies that buy specialized AI tools from trusted vendors and build partnerships succeed around 2/3 of the time, while those trying to build everything in-house succeed only about 1/3 as often. The lesson is clear. AI doesn't work when it's rushed or forced into every process. It succeeds when carefully targeted and thoughtfully implemented. Of course, AI is still in its early stages. It's unrealistic to think the current models will remain the same forever. All it might take is one new paper or a fresh neural architecture to trigger another leap forward, much like the 2017 Transformer paper did. Until then, however, we're in uncertain territory. Historically, every technological revolution, from the steam engine to the internet, has followed a similar pattern. During the dot-com boom of the 1990s, companies that simply added .com to their name saw massive valuations even if they had no real business model. Investors, desperate not to miss out, poured in money without understanding what they were funding. Eventually, reality caught up, the bubble burst, and most of those companies vanished, leaving only a few giants like Amazon and Google standing. Today, we are seeing a similar pattern. The recent launch of ChatGPT-5 was a failure. OpenAI was caught exaggerating its performance and promotional materials, and soon after, Meta announced it was scaling back its AI division. Analysts are beginning to say openly that AI may already be in a bubble. The valuations and spending figures are staggering. NVIDIA's H100 chips, the workhorses of modern AI, cost between $30,000 and $40,000 each. Google owns around 26,000 of them and uses them for systems like AlphaFold and Gemini. Meta, on the other hand, has a jaw-dropping 600,000 NVIDIA chips, but hasn't produced a single breakthrough on the same level. Despite this massive investment, Meta's LAMA model isn't discovering new science or driving innovation comparable to Google's projects. All this computing power has real-world costs too. AI alone has driven a 4% increase in electricity consumption in the United States. Morgan Stanley projects that data center investments will hit $3 trillion within 3 years, much of it financed through debt. Investors believe AI will eventually reduce costs by 40% and add $16 trillion to the global economy, but the MIT data suggests that might be wishful thinking. If AI doesn't improve soon, we could be heading toward a harsh correction. Executives will be tired of hallucinations, buggy code, and poor returns on investment. Industry leaders like Sam Altman may have to admit that artificial general intelligence, the dream of machines thinking like humans, isn't achievable with current methods. The public could grow weary of constant AI slop, the flood of mediocre or incorrect outputs clogging up the internet. Venture capital funding might dry up, and the cost of maintaining these enormous AI systems could become unsustainable. Running OpenAI's infrastructure reportedly costs around $40 billion a year, yet its revenue is less than half of that. Eventually, just as the dot-com crash cleared out unprofitable players, the AI bubble could burst, leaving behind a handful of companies that truly deliver value. Those survivors will shape the future of artificial intelligence. As the Gartner hype cycle illustrates, every new technology moves through predictable phases: a trigger of innovation, a peak of inflated expectations, a trough of disillusionment, followed by enlightenment and stable productivity. The question is, where are we now? Are we still at the peak or sliding into disillusionment? Sam Altman and other AI leaders should focus on solving hallucinations once and for all. Maybe the fix will come from a new neural architecture, or maybe through painstaking manual engineering. Either way, it could spark another AI boom. But that's the paradox of this field. No one truly knows what's next. The only certainty about AI is its unpredictability. So what do you think? Are we watching the early signs of a bubble about to burst, or are we standing right before the next great leap forward in artificial intelligence? Let me know your thought in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for our next interesting video coming soon. This is Rob, and you're watching Beyond Economy.